Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. It's the podcast where body slams meet boss fights. This is no DQs, no respawns. In this corner, the voice of old school grit, Joshua Schultz. And in the other, the king of hot takes, Chance Wyrick. One remembers the days of territories. One Googled them. Wrestling, life, video games, all on one card every week.
I don't have a middle. Welcome back to No DQs, No Respawn. So let's get into it. So we had some problems last week. Shit happens, get over it, cry about it, you got a problem with it, catch me outside. How about that?
That's a weird reference.
Yeah. Hey, but there's an age difference.
Yeah, there is. Anyway, this week we'll be going over Wrestlepalooza, which is tonight. We'll be going over our BG3 playthrough. It's gonna be a great episode.
Yeah, so stay tuned, man. We got some great shit in store for you. And just stay tuned because it's gonna be a good one.
Who knows? This episode or this intro may end up on the B-roll.
Yep. All right. Welcome back, folks. First on the docket this week, Wrestling Palooza 2025 match card. Wrestling Palooza as a whole.
Wrestlepalooza.
Mm-hmm. I always say it wrong.
I wouldn't have corrected you until you said it twice.
I don't like it.
I don't either. It's stupid.
It's such a bad name.
It is.
I don't get it. I don't. Mm-hmm. It sounds terrible.
It's crazy, too, because I'll be the first one to be like, man, they need to do something different. And then as soon as they do, I'll be like, oh, that sucks.
That's the best you come. Dude, there's so many cool ones that we've had. Like what about
you said it earlier? No Mercy,
like
Unforgiven,
No Way Out,
Bash at the Beach,
Armageddon. There's so many cool pay-per-views. Hell in a Cell,
Wrestlepalooza.
It just doesn't have.
They don't
that.
hit.
It does not. But that's
but that's what it is.
Yep, that's the first tangent for the week.
So first up, we got the Usos and Braun Breaker versus Bronson Reed in a tag team match. What are you thinking about that?
Okay, did that. I think we've talked about it before. That group, the Visionary, man. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, they play the same role.
Yeah,
they're both the muscle.
They are.
That group is not gonna get either of them over.
No,
I feel like Bronson, like you said before, Bronson Reed probably definitely outshines Braun Breaker in this. And I think
at this point he's just saying that to shut me up. He said, "Stop saying it."
No, you're right. I agree 100%. That's why I'm saying it, because you're right. He does Braun Breaker is not. He's had good moments, but overall, I feel like this has hurt him more than it's helped him.
Yeah,
and I don't know that it's elevated Bronson Reed, but he doesn't look any worse. Where with Braun Breaker, I feel like he doesn't look as good.
You know what Bronson, or is it? I see how I'm screwing it up.
Braun
Breaker. He reminds me of my little cousin trying too hard to hang out with me and just wants you to like him, and it's just annoying.
Yeah, he's got that energy to him. He's
Just want to clarify, I also don't have a cousin. That was hypothetical.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Something gonna get this.
Not a younger cousin.
Someone's gonna text you like, man.
I meant younger cousin, actually. There. Yeah. Sorry, Zach. Anyway. But it's making a lot of sense now why he didn't want to hang out with me. I was the younger cousin who was annoying, wasn't I? Yeah. See, you come to life realizations. That's where the life comes in, and no DQs, no response.
Yeah, boy, I could tell you some stories about what I realized growing up. But
anyway, back to wrestling.
Like we were saying, man, I don't think We need a tangent.
We really do.
But I don't think that group's elevated either of those guys. If anything, like it's helped make Seth Rollins look good, but like Seth didn't need that.
No, he didn't. The thing that gets me is it's so I don't know. I don't know how you come out of this. I don't know how the Usos come out of this with a win and not make Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed look bad.
Mm-hmm. But I also, like you were saying, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But also, like I don't feel like at their points now, especially who they are, I don't think it doesn't make sense for Jimmy and Jay to lose to Braun and Breaker and Bronson Reed. Because to me, like at this point, like Jimmy and Jay are like not to say that they're this level of dominant, but I feel like they're almost like Undertaker and Kane level like tag team where like they don't need to team up, but when they do, it's real cool. Cause like I feel like the Usos have both kind of outgrown that team, you know, like they're both great, you know, like I feel like Jimmy's like more of a secondary champion. He's more of a in the kind of the US title guy. But
with some of that Spanish.
Intercontinental US title guy. But I feel like Jay obviously main event Uso, that he's the guy. I definitely feel like he is. You know, he's got every reason to be at the level he's at now. But I both feel like as a whole, like they're both kind of outgrown like that. You know, they're both like I've heard Josh say it before, like they're both at this point, they're superstars, you know, and like they don't need each other to be an attraction anymore.
No. And if the two Brauns, whatever their names are, I'm having a hard time with names today. If the two Brauns win, I think the Usos just look too bad in this situation. If the Usos look bad, I think it kills their momentum. But so I don't think either team really comes away, you know, like this should be something where both teams come away and look better. And I don't think that's what we're going to end up with.
Yeah, I agree. I don't necessarily think we will either.
No.
Yeah, because like it doesn't make sense for either team to lose. Like you want to make, if you're still trying to like get this visionary over, you want to make them look good, but at the same time, like do you really want to the Usos, the established team, the like part of the bloodline, to lose to this like failing group?
Yeah, I don't. But
neither.
But it just buries both people. So what do you think? I do think the Usos are coming out of here the winner, but I think it's going to be due to, I don't know, 15 different people interfering.
Yeah, maybe something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I kind of agree. I think the Usos will come out on top. I don't know how they're going to come out on top.
Mm-hmm.
And if Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed do come out on top, I'll be kind of disappointed in it. So we'll see. But yeah, I hope the Usos come out on top, even though like overall, like the match just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. No.
Next up, another one we got to talk about: Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Championship. So, said it before, I'll say it again. I don't think Cody's a good champion. I think he's a fantastic contender, a fantastic challenger. I love to see him chase the championship.
Yeah.
Some of the greatest, like watching him win for the first time when he won it, like, you know, like that one, I was like, this felt like this is for Dusty, like
peak,
like it was cinema.
Yeah.
But I've not cared for Cody's champion, not since, you know. I didn't care after when he lost the first time. I didn't care when he got it back. Like, I'm sorry. Like he's a better challenger than he is champion.
Yes. To me, it's the fact that during his last reign, he only had 9 title defenses. He talked about being a fighting champion. And I mean, don't get me wrong, he was fighting. He was always involved in somebody else's storyline, kind of like Jey Uso usually is. But I want to see title defense after title defense. I miss the days where we'd see regular title defenses on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. Mm-hmm. You know, like what Why
or
are you
at least
defending?
like shit, the days where you had Randy and Cena fucking fighting at every pay-per-view for the title.
Yeah, right.
And I'm a Randy guy.
Yeah.
But no, I know what you mean. But like, I don't know, like, yeah, like he was always on TV, like he was always involved in something, but he was not defending the title. So
No.
like, yeah, I don't know. He's a better challenger than his champion. Plus, Drew McIntyre deserves the rub, man.
He does.
He deserves a good title win. Yeah, like he, especially if like as you've seen him grow as like a competitor, like especially comparing him now to like him in his original like way back when WWE run, like he's a whole different competitor.
He is. And, you know, I think it would mean a lot to him to, you know, get the title now, considering when he won it at WrestleMania, you know, empty arena, he didn't have the fans. I'd really like to see Drew get a meaningful title run in front of fans and get his due.
I agree. Yeah, that would be a whole lot better, you know, if he got that, you know, feud, and especially now too. Yeah, because all that stuff, like some of that stuff during the pandemic, like it's like the NBA bubble championship. Like it's got an asterisk.
Does it really count?
Yeah, asterisk. Whoa, I'm a Lakers guy.
Hey.
Let's not say it doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't know that it does.
Count.
It's like the NFL season. I mean, like every day you had somebody on the COVID list, and it was like the third string players playing all the time. Like, anyway.
But
I hate the Lakers too, by the way. Yeah. I know. I've waited this long to say it, but I've never been a Kobe fan.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hold on. This might be the last episode of the podcast.
Michael Jordan all the way, man.
They call him Baby Jordan.
Baby Jordan. He was a great player, but no, I never. But I don't know. I never got into the hype.
But let's get back. Look, it's
a wrestling podcast.
I'm telling you, we got to get a tangent cannon.
Yeah.
Sometimes we talk about life.
Yeah.
We got other interests. I like other shit.
Mm-hmm. I have some interest. Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like Drew, he deserves it. Like you said, like his like he won it during the pandemic, which sucks, man. Like, you know, all that stuff was like, some of it was real cool, especially if you think about like the Hurt Business stuff. Like that shit was great, but like a lot of that stuff, like it's not the same without fans.
No,
like, you know, none of that stuff is no sporting event, no, you know, WWE, like none of that stuff is like the same without fans. Like fans are like half the spectacle. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so yeah, like 100%. I think Drew deserves the rub. Like, and especially like Josh was saying earlier, like the stuff was posting on Twitter, man. He's comedic gold right now.
He is.
You know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What was it? Rock.
Yeah, Cody. Cody, The Rock wants your soul. I want your ass. Wait.
Look, and he does. He posts stuff like that all the time. I think he's comedic. He's great in the ring. He's got a great look. Hell, it's my wife's wearing his shirt right now.
Yeah, he's got this like tough mentality, like real tough, like hard hitting style, like, you know, and you need some of that, especially in the main event scene. Like, you know, that's why there's such an appreciation for those Gunthers and you know, Drew McIntyre's today. You know, it's because you know those guys, like, it was almost a lost art for a while there. You know, those hard hitting like tough guys. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It seems like he works stiff. He seems to be safe. I think Randy Orton last week on SmackDown wasn't too happy with him. But
you talking about when he hit the
25 years? I've never been bounced off the rope.
I was wondering, like, obviously I've never taken a bump before. Like, I was like, is it that bad? Like
I honestly don't think. I think he was more embarrassed that his opponent messed up. I don't even know. Like, it didn't look like it hurt.
I don't know. Listen. Even today, you know, being like more less of a contender and more of a gatekeeper guy, you know, I wouldn't want to get Randy's bad side.
No.
He's the shit. And Randy's my guy. Like, he's a lifer. To me, he's Undertaker status. you know, as far as like legendary, always been here guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
But he's not in the match either. So I think I would like Drew to come away with that win. You agree?
I agree. Fucking me, but he's not in the match.
we went off on another tangent. We're talking about Randy Orton, how great he is.
But you had to shoot already. Like, fuck all that.
I mean, no. Randy's great.
We're not about to take no Randy slander over here.
No, not what I meant. Randy's great. I just meant back on topic. So
shit.
After that, we got CM Punk, AJ Lee, Seth Rollins, and Becky Lynch. I know I've got some pretty strong feelings about it, but why don't you start us out, Chant?
So here's my thing. I know Josh just said before that he was less interested in this match. I don't know how he feels now, but like he wasn't as interested in this match for particular reasons. But I also I have kind of a counter feel about it. I feel like for this is kind of like Becky Lynch's last hurrah. I don't know that Becky Lynch is title contender anymore. I feel like she is more of a Natalia role now. There's the main event scene's too flooded. You know, there's too many up and comers that, not to say that Becky Lynch isn't deserving, but there's way more people that I would rather see with the title and, you know, regaining the title and fighting for the title than Becky Lynch. So I kind of feel like this is Becky Lynch's last hurrah. Let her work with her husband. And, you know, I feel like this is also a way to kind of get AJ Lee back into the business. Let her work with her husband the first angle. You know, she kind of lean on him if there's any ring rust. But I just feel like, you know, this is Becky's last hurrah. And, like, you know, I'm stoked to see AJ Lee back. You know, I grew up in that era, so I'm stoked to see her back. It's very cool. It's very cool. But yeah. But yeah, like I know it's not, you know, the greatest feud, but it's also, I feel like it's got multiple layers because I feel like Seth Rollins has really worked his way up.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk's like greatest rivals list. Like he is like, probably to me, he's probably one of like CM Punk's like greatest 3 rivals, you know, right up there with like as great as his rivalry is with like Jeff Hardy. And like that was like, you know, a real, you know, meaningful rival.
With the Hood legend, Jeff Hardy.
The Hood
Put some
legend.
respect on his name.
The Hood legend. Yes, yes. If you know, you know.
Just 2 episodes ago, yeah. Yeah. You know, I feel the same way. I really liked what Becky did with Lyra, putting her over, you know, making her look good, building superstars. But at this point, that's what I would like her to be doing. I don't want to see her in the main event scene. I want to see her helping build new stars, giving back to the business that has made her. Not that she's not or hasn't. I just mean this feud has taken up a lot of TV time. It's been entertaining. At first, I thought exactly that it was taking up too much time. I've really come around. I've really, you know, reintroduced myself to AJ Lee. Their promos they're killing it. You know, it's been some very entertaining segments. But after this, I don't want Becky Lynch taking up a lot of TV time unless she is giving someone else the rub.
Like I said, she needs that Natalia treatment.
The natty roll.
Yeah, she needs to be that Natalia treatment. Like, you can be the gatekeeper. You can be the one that fights the number 1 contender for the title, you know, or for the number 1 contender spot. But I don't want to see you fighting for the title no more. No. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Now when you got the Rheas and the Stephanies and, you know, like it's, yeah, there's too many people that I would rather see the title with over Becky Lynch.
100%. I agree. Who do you think's coming out on top?
It's got to be CM Punk and AJ Lee, right? Like, you don't have her losing her, you know, comeback match, right?
No, I don't think you do. And I think if you do, it's going to be some shady shit.
Yeah, like, if she does, like, it's got to be, like, you know, there's going to be a schmaz. Like, it's not going to be, like, a clean finish. If they come.
It'll be a dusty finish.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, did you know that was named after Dusty Rhodes?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The Dusty finish, the convoluted, like all fucked up finish. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Little tidbit there for you. Not interesting.
I mean, because you watch the territories and shit. I just look.
Yeah. See, that's my thing. I can't remember anything unless it's not important. Like, I can tell you the third entrant to the 1993 Royal Rumble, but I couldn't remember my multiplication facts as a kid. So, anyway.
Next up on the docket, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. I know. Listen, I got some feelings about this. I think Josh's got some feelings about this.
I do.
So let's get into it. I don't want to see Brock versus John Cena. Listen, some of the greatest hits tour has been cool, but I don't need to see Brock versus John again. I don't.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm glad to have Brock back. Like I cool. Like right on. Like Brock in WWE is I don't never necessarily think it's bad for business, but I don't need to see him versus John. Not on this greatest hits tour. Not, if we're doing that, like there's other guys I would much rather see him fight.
Yeah.
But and put over, and like there's some younger guys that I feel like Josh should probably mention a little bit that like he should probably be putting over too. But I don't see point in that. And another thing, I'm saying it here again. I think I've said it before. If not, it's on the Lost episode.
He says it every segment.
Lost episode. But I don't think this is the end of John Cena. We're not having this last match on a Saturday night.
We better not. Not any Saturday night main event that has taken place, not inside the 80s, has led to nothing storyline wise. It has produced nothing except for the Seth Rollins knee injury thing.
It's not meaningful.
No.
It doesn't play any meaningful role in storylines.
Goldberg had his retirement match, and you seen how they did his? They cut him off mid-speech.
Because it's a glorified house show. Yeah. It's like, come on, Goldberg, we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, wrap it up.
We gotta wrap it up. This is a house show. We only have
10 seconds left.
Yeah, shut up. Yeah. But at the same time, like, I also didn't care about Brock or Goldberg's retirement match either. So I was like,
wow.
So I was kind of like, yeah, get that motherfucker
fight. I love Goldberg. Loved him during his original run. I was watching wrestling then, but no, he shouldn't still. So I appreciate his retirement match, and I'm glad he got that opportunity to have a retirement match. Not a lot of wrestlers do, but I'm also don't think he should have been on TV for the last couple of years.
Listen, 100%. Since he dropped The Undertaker, I used to like him too when I was younger in like some of the old games and stuff. Mm-hmm. But when he dropped The Undertaker, I was like, get away from me. I never want to see your face again.
Look, Undertaker's his second favorite wrestler. Think about what would have happened if he'd have dropped Randy on his head.
All right, listen. He Goldberg would have been next. That's all I'm saying.
So, and I agree with Chance. I'm actually, I want to state real quick, I am very happy to see Brock Lesnar back, the character anyway. And I can't wait to see if he's going to stay around and what feuds we could get. I'd like to see him feud with some of the newer superstars that we've not. Damian Priest, Gunther. Like, there's so many matches I'd like to see. John Cena isn't one of them.
Yeah, I would rather see him back working with AJ Styles than I would see him with that.
That's another one. Yeah, AJ Styles. They put on some killer matches in the G1 Grand Prix over in Japan. Mm-hmm.
So like I don't need to see I don't need to see Brock versus John again. I feel like we just went through that. I know, like Josh mentioned me, like that was like 9 years ago. I'm like, that's crazy, like because it doesn't feel like 9 years ago.
No,
and like that's why I feel like I don't need to see it again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, because are they just gonna have the same match? Because like you don't bring Brock back and make him look weak, right? But you don't fucking like have him destroy John Cena again. Do you?
See,
that's what I'm like. I don't even like know where are we going with this?
And that's my biggest thing too. What have we already done with it? We've had like one John Cena promo, one Brock Lesnar promo, and now we're gonna have the match to end their rivalry after all that. Like, give me more. I want to see weeks of these guys. You know, if that's what we're going to do, build it up properly. Like, it feels so rushed. You know?
See, this is why Stone Cold walked out.
100%. Just want to counter program AEW.
Yeah. See, if it was up to me, you know, there'd be Randy in there.
Randy in every match. You should see his created pay-per-views on SmackDown versus Raw.
Dude, am I
Randy versus Randy, special versus Randy.
Dude, on my universe, bro, Randy's like a 28-time champion.
He's got all the belts.
He was Mercedes Moné way before.
There you go.
But no,
I think Cena comes away the winner, but I don't. I want to see a good match, but honestly, I don't know how they're gonna. Storyline wise, I don't care, but the match will be entertaining.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
like I don't really know what makes sense about it. Yeah, like I don't know, man. It just doesn't make sense, dude.
No,
like, this match doesn't do anything for really either of them. You know, Brock's an established star. You know, if he's back, awesome. Glad to see him back. But if this John Cena's retirement tour, like, do we really need to see Brock smash him again, or like him finally conquer the beast? Like, I don't care.
No, I don't either. Raw's booking lately feels like they're rolling a natural one. Anyway, the last match is going to be Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer.
Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer.
And we did put that above the John Cena Brock Lesnar match.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. That's how little I care for that match.
100%.
But yeah, I think Stephanie comes away with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the right move. Best for business. To me, she's got real potential. I think she can be a fucking megastar.
Yeah.
Like she's super over right now.
And they better capitalize it while the iron's hot.
But at the same time, I feel like Io has not got the proper run that she deserves. I know she's had a couple of runs, but I feel like, I don't know, man. Like, she is a damn good performer. To not like get a real good run. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it.
See, and I don't disagree with what you're saying. I don't think any of Io's runs have been like spectacular, but she has had her chance. And I would love to see Stephanie shine here and just put a rocket on her ass, as Triple H says, and just let her run through everybody. Not run through, but, you know, Goldberg style. But she can go out there and just put on banger matches week after week.
Banger matches, yeah. And especially now, because, like, the women division as a whole, like, I think, you know, the WWE's women's division, it's as good as it's ever been. You know what I mean?
100%.
You got, like,
Bianca.
Tiffany, Tiffany Stratton, like, or Stratton, like, you got, you know, Bianca, you got Naomi, even though she's gone right now, but, you know, you got Naomi, you got Rhea Ripley, you know, there's so
Chelsea Green, you're not going to bring up? Oh, yeah, Chelsea Green, yeah.
Yeah, like, Lyra Valkyrie, like, there's so many, like, good, like, female wrestlers right now, like, yeah, like, I don't know, man.
It's the best it's ever been.
It's literally as good as it's ever been.
Yeah.
And then you got, like, returning, like, you know, ones, you know, Trish is, like,
I'd really like for Stephanie to win tonight and hold the belt until my girl Liv gets back.
I don't need to see Liv.
Hey, watch your mouth. I'll come right over this table.
I'm not even over the table, brother. I'm right beside you.
Shit, I guess you are. Probably reach you from here.
But you know what? I'll save the Liv tangent for another week.
All right. Good, because my daughter will come out of her room. That's her favorite. So I think Stephanie has to win here. You know, I do. I think Io is great. I think she is going to have many more runs as a champion to come. I think she's great. But right now, I think Stephanie's hot.
I think so too. I think you're right. I think she's the one that should come out on top. And you, like you said earlier, you strike while the iron's hot. She's super on fire right now, and let her do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like it's like WWE creative must be multi-classing in the chaos.
Yeah. I think little Vince McMahon trait there. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's it. Next, we're gonna transition a little bit. We're gonna switch it up. So stay tuned. And we're back. Time to switch gears a little bit. We're going to get into the no respawns part of this. So, as we talked about in the intro, me and Josh, we got a Baldur's Gate playthrough coming. And I don't know if you know anything about Baldur's Gate. Is it a D&D game? Josh might be able to tell you a little bit more about that.
It is. It's a Dungeons and Dragons game. It plays, as closely as to Dungeons and Dragons as it can faithfully while still being a video game. It's a turn-based game. You can pick barbarians, wizards, elves. Like it's a wild video game.
Orcs. Yeah, think of like the world's like he said, there's dragons and goblins and all that,
all that nerd stuff.
Yeah, all that nerdy shit.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing a playthrough on Twitch and YouTube, probably live on Twitch and, posting the final edits over on YouTube. But
not just any playthrough, Josh. Let's not forget that. We're going to do a role play playthrough where we're going to play as specific characters, and we're going to only make decisions based off what those characters and their lore and background would make, not specifically choices that we as people would pick in that situations, but what that specific character would pick.
Yeah. And it's going to be great. Definitely join us. We're going to go over a little bit of the stuff, here in just a second, as far as extra lore that we're going to be adding in. We'll reveal our characters. Let's just get right into that. What we're going to be I'm going to be playing as the Dark Urge, and just a little bit of background about that. It is a character that has really nobody really has much memory of what happens before the beginning of the game, but he has no memory. He kind of figures it out, through the game. It's its own, origin character, and it's got a lot of dark consequences that can come from it.
Yeah, obviously, as the name says, it's the Dark Urge. So he does have a bit of a dark side, unintentionally. So no matter how you play him. So like there are gonna be certain events that might go against what we are specifically intending to happen, but because of this character, sometimes things go awry, they go astray. Another thing that we wanted to add about this playthrough, if there's anything about Baldur's Gate, there's rolls. One thing we're gonna do is like we are not gonna do any reload. We're gonna let the dice roll how they roll. We might use the inspiration or two, but we're not we're not looking for any specific outcomes. It's gonna just go how it goes.
Yep, and a little more in depth into, as Chan said, dice rolls. So what it is there's certain situations, whether you want to intimidate someone, whether you're trying to convince someone of something, lie to them, that depend on your stats and your character stats, and it goes along with rolling the dice. So your stats affect dice rolls and stuff like that. But it's not as simple as, not everything is as simple as, okay, I'm going to do this. You may have to roll a dice for it. And if we roll a dice for it and don't get the outcome that we want, he might let it ride.
Yeah, Josh might turn into a murder hobo.
There's a good chance.
It's a very high possibility.
Mhm.
We're gonna try to steer away from that, but with the characters we picked, we're not inherently good and we're not inherently evil.
No.
So there's gonna be a moral gray area of looking out for team number one.
Yeah. And as I had said earlier, we're gonna add a little more lore on top of it, and Chances is going to, what's your character?
As far as
what are you playing?
I'm also doing original created character. I'm gonna do what they call in Baldur's Gate a TAV. That's kind of how we're gonna get into our background a little bit now that you'd asked. So with me and Josh played through it, like we said, we're gonna be role playing a little bit as these characters as far as like playing only the way these characters would play. So now it's we can kind of get into it a little bit. The race of our characters we're gonna go with Drow.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know anything about Drow, they're the elf of the Underdark, which is basically like the underground cities. And with Drow, they're a very self-preservation culture where they're looking out for their interest, and a lot of times their interest alone, and the interest of their families and camps. But as far as anyone else, it's a very much what can you do for me culture,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so like there's gonna be situations where I'm not the good guy, I'm not the bad guy though either. I might help you out, but are you paying more than this guy over here? Because if not, might go work over there.
So I will be playing a paladin, and Chance is going to be playing
a cleric. Now I might be doing a little bit of multi-classing, but now if you know anything about drows, there's only two types of drow: a Lola Sworn drow, and then what's the other one, Josh?
I don't know. I just drew a blank.
I can't remember. Settling. Yeah, settling drow.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're gonna be playing Lola Sworn.
Put me on the spot there.
Well, my fault. Look, you're the D&D guy, man. Yeah, hey, you're supposed to be the one. I got to be able to rely on you.
Fair enough.
Got to be more on top of it.
Fair enough.
No, just like, but if you know anything about drows, like there's the Lola Sworn and Cellunite drows, but we're gonna be playing Lola Sworn. If you know Lola Sworn, that means they praise the Spider Queen, and the Lolth, the Queen of Spiders. So obviously that's might be a little bit of a scarier god. So like we're not, like I said, we're not good guys, we're not bad guys. We're just looking out for us. We're looking out for us and the Spider Queen.
Mm-hmm.
So stay tuned for that. There's gonna be a lot of different things that are going to happen. Another part that is going to really play a part in this, that our characters, they're going to play the roles of like brothers. So with Josh playing as the Dark Urge, there's going to be certain situations where as his brother, I might have to talk him off the ledge.
He's got his work cut out for him
to stop from being a murder hobo. You know what I mean?
Like Aerosmith, I live on the edge.
Lives on the edge. Mm-hmm. Especially being Drow. Because if you know anything about Drow, like they can be a very stuck-up culture, especially our specific Drows, because we're gonna have played with a noble background.
Mm-hmm.
So we come from wealthy, rich families, and lived in the highest towers of Mesa Baranza, so there's gonna be some very interesting choices that we're gonna go with this.
Yeah, and with the Dark Urge, there's a lot of choices that may be made for us.
Yeah, things aren't gonna always go the way that we like them.
Mm-hmm.
another thing that we want to get into, like Josh said, so he's gonna be playing a paladin, and I'm gonna be playing a cleric. If you know anything about those classic, a cleric is kind of like someone who like prays to their god and like their beliefs and their god. They bestow upon them different powers and abilities. Whereas Josh the paladin is essentially a knight that takes up an oath of some kind. There's multiple kinds, but takes up an oath of some kind to hold to certain values and different things. And if you know anything about the Dark Urge, that's gonna be a real hard thing to do, to stick to any kind of values or rules and regulations.
It sure is.
So
my butler will probably make it very hard.
Yeah, he's got some cool gear.
He does.
So, not to spoil too much, but there's going to be some cool stuff going on. We also, we're not going to go too crazy with it, but another thing we did want to add, there are going to be some mods going on, nothing too erratic or crazy, but just some quality of life mods and just some things to add some different background and lore and different talks to the adventure, because I think there's going to be some interesting things that we can do with the right mods. So
and speaking of subclasses, I just want to throw in real quick that although I eventually will probably be an Oathbreaker, I will probably start out as a Oath of Vengeance Paladin, which are usually damaged focused, and but I'm sure eventually I'll end up breaking my oath and, being Oathbreaker.
It's probably not going to take very long.
Usually before I get off the ship.
Or first stream.
Yeah.
Stream.
Already an Oathbreaker.
Yeah, it's not going to take Not with Urge.
No, it won't.
If you make it if you make it past that squirrel in the grove, I'd be surprised.
All right. I'm gonna see how long I can make it.
I don't see it making it past that.
No.
So we'll see. What else? Yeah, so kind of get more into the background, obviously Baldur's Gate, there's different origin characters that you can play as who have their own unique stories. We're gonna definitely bring them along for the ride, but how we're kind of playing it, it's a very much what can you do for me, scenario. So, depending on these characters and these how they play, they might
they may not fit our agenda.
Yeah, exactly that. They might not be long for the party, so if you play Baldur's Gate and you have any favorite characters, hey,
I might murder them.
Yeah. It might not be a good time for them, depending on who you like. It might be a great time for some of them, depending on who you like, though. So we'll see.
Just to go over a few of them, if you're not too familiar with the game, Astarion is one of the origin characters. He is a high elf rogue who, spoiler, is a vampire. Gale, he's a human wizard. Lae'zel, a Githyanki fighter. Shadowheart, who is a half elf cleric,
who plays a major part in the overall plot, and depending on which way she goes, changes a lot of things.
It does.
Keep an eye on her.
We also have Will, who's a human warlock. Karlak, a tiefling barbarian. And, then the Dark Urge, who is a custom protagonist with unique murderous storylines. Which,
see, you heard that. Yeah. You heard that here first. Murderous. So, like he said, there's going to be some issues. There's going to be some problems. There's going to be some talks and discussions. I'm going to try to talk Josh off the edge. It's not always going to work.
Yeah, and
that's
essentially what's going to be our role play as brothers. Our extra role play on top of it. That he is going to be trying to talk me out of this as a paladin and keeping my oath and, not to do murder hobo things. But, we'll see how good he is at convincing me.
Mm-hmm. Because, being a paladin, he's going to be a paladin of loaths, So if it's not in the interest of the Spider Queen, he shouldn't be doing it, So sometimes murder is on the agenda, but not always.
Mostly is, though. So we don't have necessarily a start date yet. I think maybe we should reveal that next episode. But we'll have a regular streaming schedule from there once we start it, and hoping everybody tunes in and checks it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Chance and I have already put a lot of time into this game, but we're not necessarily going to be metagaming it where we know how to run through it or this or that. We're gonna let it unfold as organically as possible.
Yep. So obviously, like you said, we've both got multiple hours into this game, way more than I should. But
really,
but with that being said, like you said, we're gonna let the gameplay kind of be organic. Playing as our characters. We're gonna not. I don't want to say pretend we don't know where things are at or how things go, but we're going to come across them and allow them to build organically. So, if there's a certain item me or Josh really like, if we don't, and it's tied to a quest, if we don't get that quest, we don't go follow that quest marker to go do that, we're not going to, do any tricks to go get, and we have to find the thing, do the thing, pick the puzzle, it's we're not gonna be going out of our way to do any special things to get our as he said, metagame it, where we're gonna let the gameplay come together very organically, and let the story leads us where it leads us. If it we don't get the strongest sword, that's okay. We're gonna get what we get, and the story's gonna go how it goes. And yet, just stay tuned, because it's gonna be a real interesting time, because I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to talk Josh off the ledge.
Probably not. No, it is. And, and again, as we mentioned earlier, whether he can talk me off the ledge or not, my urges still may take over, with the dice roll, and, we're screwed after that and just have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're hoping people join us. We may figure out some audience interaction, if we get people joining us. So,
and Drow are a very portrayal oriented people. So there's not a guarantee Josh doesn't turn on me, this might become a one-person playthrough at some point.
It might.
There's a lot that can happen.
Sometimes you can only take so much nagging not to kill people,
Yeah. So you definitely stay tuned. Another great episode in the books. We're back in it. Sorry about last week. If you got any problems, who, damn who. I don't give a damn, shit happens. We live and we learn. But thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.